Hi, Ross Quintana here with Social Magnets, and today we're going to be talking about extracting the business value from social media. So here's the deal. We've heard this conversation going on and on and on. There's basically two types of people. There's either the type of people who are using social media for business and they're not very good at it, whether they know that or not, or B, there's the type of people who aren't even using social media because they can't get it. It's like they hear everyone talking about how you should use it and how you've got to use it for business, but they don't see the value. And they look at the other people who are using it oftentimes wrong and saying, look at them. They're putting all this time and energy, and what result are they really getting? Well, I'm about to break down the way that you can actually get business value out of social media. And we're going to run through this. We're going to spend about 10 minutes real quick, and we're going to unpack this and dig into the nitty gritty. So let's get started. The first thing that you got to understand about social media is that a lot of people, social media is this kind of concept, this vagueness where they're like, oh, does that mean having a Twitter page or a Facebook page or, once I get a Facebook business page, then I'm doing social media? No, you're not. The reality is that social media platforms are one thing, right? And using them, but signing up for an account or creating a profile or knowing how to send a tweet doesn't mean that you've applied social media to your business practice. So the very first thing that you've got to do is you've got to break down and understand what are the business functions that social media and these various platforms provide. What do they actually do? That way you can align that up to the actual processes that you have in your business and see how those social media platforms can do them better. Then you can integrate them and then start to optimize them, and that's when you're going to start to see the business value, the ROI, right? And the revenue that it can generate. So let's start with that. Business functions that this produces. You know, the first thing that it's great for, that's incredible for, that many small to mid-sized businesses aren't even doing is research. Right? So many businesses, they're like, oh, hey, research is for the big enterprises and the firms who can pay $10,000 to have a survey done or a research report or whatever. And, for the average small to mid-sized business, that doesn't make sense, or they're just not aware of using that or seeing the great benefit and return on that. But obviously, whenever you look to the big boys, right, and you see how the large enterprises are doing business, if they're doing those things, look, they're more optimized than the small businesses. So if they're spending money on it, you can bet that it has tremendous value. So how can you utilize that? Even as a solopreneur, how can you utilize that? Well, social media levels the playing field. It allows you to do in-depth research, and you don't have to be a data scientist to do that. Actually, anybody could do this. You can do incredible research on your customers, right? You can look in a way that's never been done. Right? Before, if you want to go hire and pay people to come into a focus group, right? And you have 10 people and you're going to pay them and you're going to ask them questions. First of all, it's a small sample size, which means it may not really represent your entire market or your customer base. And number two, it can be very skewed based on the questions, based on who's asking them and who you got to be in your focus group. And then big businesses sometimes used to pay a lot of money for this, and then they'd run off and make huge decisions for their business based on this little tiny sample of data. Well, now you don't have to do that. You can literally go cyber watch your current customers. You can look at your competitors' customers. You can look at your target market. You can see what else they're looking at. What are they engaging with? Things that you would never find. It's like the limitless well that you could never afford to find all of this data out. It's free on social media. Most of it on native platforms. Right on the platform, you can go to Facebook, you can do searches and start to learn about your customers, learn about your market. That was never available to most businesses, and certainly not, if it was available, it was way too expensive. You got that free now with social media. That's the first thing. Second thing is marketing. Obviously, the marketers were the first ones to come in and just say, wow, social media, you've got to get on this. And all the businesses pushed back and said, wait, nah, that's a fad. That's a waste of time. That's just social networking. What's that have to do with our business? And then even when they did come on, they just wanted to start broadcasting, but they didn't have a big audience. So in the beginning, right, they used to, hey, we'll put our ad in a magazine, and we know we're going to reach 50,000 subscribers, and we're going to pay X dollars, and we're going to hope that they look and that it drives some revenue. It wasn't really trackable. You couldn't see that people's eyes were looking at it or get reactions to your magazine, all you could do is wait on the other side and hope sales drip through and then try and say, well, hopefully that was from this campaign that we ran in this magazine. Or you ran a multi-channel thing where you got TV ads and radio and all this, and you didn't really also know what of that was actually driving the revenue impact. You had to guess or try and run different ads and hope that somehow you could collect the data on the backside to figure out which of these things that you're spending money on is really working. Well, with social media, you've got granular analytics that come back to you and tell you exactly what did work and what didn't work. And could you imagine trying to spend money running 2 different magazine ads and then trying to compare them to see which one, after you're spending all this money on each one and the creative and the design and the execution, just to see which one you should go with? People didn't do it. They just put their best creative foot forward and said, that's what we're going with. Well, with social media, you can run 2 different things and in real time get data back to see this title, this image, this is what's working more than this, and you can start to fine tune and optimize. So for marketers, it's just a dream. You can have huge distribution, you can deliver it to your customers who can then share it, instantly referring it to all of their friends and family, right? I mean, that would be a dream if they just referred you a couple of times. If the conversation happened to arise, right? Especially for small business, solopreneurs. If you're doing a service-based business, right? And you want that person, say it's hyper-local, and you want that person, you want to talk to their whole family. Say you're a real estate agent and you just sold this person a home. The minute they share that on Facebook, all their friends, families, coworkers are all notified with that one statement that they made, instead of imagine that being one conversation between one person hoping that it was about real estate, hoping that they remembered to mention you and say, hey, my real estate agent is amazing, but that was going to one person. Now that's entirely scaled. And even if it's not scaled to tens of thousands or millions of viewers and impressions like traditional advertising, it's actually way more targeted because it's going to the people from a personal referral that makes it more likely to have value and drive actual results. So we had the marketing side. So we've got research, we've got marketing. Next is sales. Social commerce is now a real thing. A lot of these platforms, it took them a while. It used to be that you were using social to drive them back to your website to go to a sales page and hoping that that would convert. Now it's gone beyond that, where actually they can hit a buy button right there on the social platform in real time when they just consumed whatever content it was or ad or whatever promotion it was. They can buy it right there on their mobile, on their desktop, wherever they're at. This is huge, and social commerce is going to continue to really expand. And so you can now make sales. You don't have to wait for them to come into your store to find the object that they like and to purchase it. Forget about that. You can be with them on their lunch break. You can be there, and then if they like it, they can turn around and share their sale to all their circle of friends. Like, it is massively valuable and highly leverageable. So that's the third piece, social sales. That's the revenue piece. And then the fourth piece is optimization and also customer relationship management, right? Before, if you sent out one postcard a month, right? We'll use the same thing, a real estate agent. After a while, if they're not looking for a home, you're kind of annoying them. You're actually just not relevant for the rest of the year. Now, maybe you'll keep top of mind and hopefully that'll help referrals, but it was really a sloppy job. So now you zoom forward in social media, you can actually curate content. Share content with them that they care about that you found from researching them online. Hey, they love golf? Great, I'm going to share some golf stuff. You can do it personalized on the individual level. Hey, I thought you'd like this post. Or you can broadcast it to, if you see trends among all of your prospects, you can do home improvement in that example of the real estate agent, interior design, all this. And give them value as many times as you want all through the year to further deepen that relationship, and then sprinkle in your marketing. So it's a great way, right, to do a lot more touch points. Because before, if you wanted to mail more things that weren't directly on somehow going to benefit your business, it didn't make sense financially. With social media, you can share articles that don't benefit you financially just to keep your brand top of mind to them, and then hit them periodically with the ones that can drive results for you, and it lets you incubate new leads and take care of your old consumers and develop those relationships. That is massive. Again, most of this stuff is free. Now, those are the business functions. Once you understand what they do, now you got to know how to use it. First of all, you got to stop doing dumb things like hiring interns or just, hey, if you're a millennial, I'm going to hire you to run social for my company. That's ridiculous. This takes practice and experience and their strategy, and it takes more than knowing how to share a tweet. Just because you don't know how to share a tweet, you still got to hire a professional, because the difference in results, right? You can actually hire someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and you'll feel like you're doing something, but the numbers and nothing's changing, nothing's really happening, even though you feel like it. You're measuring the wrong things for success, the wrong KPIs. So understand this, there's a huge difference in professionals of high-end professionals that can really move the bar and make things happen for your brand, and people who just make you feel like something's happening when it really isn't. So here's the thing. Once you understand the business functions, right? In your business, you have salespeople. They're driving sales. With video and social, you can start driving sales, and it's scalable. With it's like every post, every video you make is like an employee you didn't have to pay. You paid them once, you made it once, and it can sell for you over and over again when you add new prospects into your mix. When you're doing research, you're not hiring a third-party firm. You can get on there, dedicate a month, 1 hour a month to researching your market, to your customer, whatever it is. You can do that for free. Number 3, marketing. You can try stuff. Find out what works, what doesn't work. You can dial in and optimize your marketing and really everything. Optimization and analytics are really a powerhouse of social media that goes beyond any marketing that was ever done in the past. A/B testing, all that stuff can be done in a day. You can have new insight, tweak your marketing, and get out there and get bigger results. So you have to learn to integrate this with purpose. How you do that is understanding, how does this integrate with my marketing and my branding? How can I use this for research? How can I use this to make sales through social? And how can I use this to manage my client base, my customer base, and incubate my new prospects and move them through the sales funnel? All of that can be had with social media. So I hope I piqued your interest. I hope I showed you some direct business-based. I mean, we're not talking about, hey, let's all get on Snapchat, because that you have to be on Snapchat. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. You got to understand the platforms, what they do, what business function they serve, and then say, how does that integrate? And then you can make intelligent, purposeful decisions for your business, and then everything you do in social will return greater value to your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Smash that button there and share it if you find this valuable. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear the journey that you've taken. What have you found from social that's made a difference or not made a difference? This topic is going to be part of an upcoming podcast as well. So if you leave questions in the comments, they may show up and get answered on the podcast or the Twitter chat. Also, if you leave your best practice and stuff, that may show up too. So I appreciate you watching. Until next time.